Show me what you got.
Mushroom. And here's another one.
That's a little one. What are you doing?
I want little ones.
Yeah, well, don't pick it if you ain't gonna get it. Look over yonder. Look right there in front of you.
I'm not picking down. Without it.
Hold that up and show it to me. Boy, that's a big one, ain't it?
I don't want this one.
Well, yeah, you do.
You found some more?
Yeah.
Mommy, you hold this one.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. I had a little story I wanted to tell y'all. Before I tell it, though, I want to give credit to where I got it from. Now, I don't know originally about this story. I heard it from Brother Sammy Sherrill. But this is the story about the time Jesus come by my house. I was sitting at the house one day and reading a book. Heard a knock at the door. I got up. You know, who in the world could be at the house? And I got up and I walked to the door and opened it up. And there was Jesus. He said, well, hey, how you doing? He said, I was in the neighborhood. He said, I was looking for a place to stay. And I wondered if you had a place. I thought, man, yeah, I got a place you can stay. I mean, and hey, I went back out of my bedroom. I said, give me just a minute, Lord. I need to do some cleaning. And I went back there and he come on in the house. And I went back there to my master bedroom, the best room in the house. I got my stuff out of there. I armed it all up, toted it down the hall, and put it in one of the other bedrooms. And I said, Lord, this is the best room in the house, and this is your room. You do like you want to. This is your room. Well, that went good. He stayed there a few days, and he was back there in his room, stayed back there in his room where I told him to stay. He didn't ever come out. Didn't bother a thing, you know. I was sitting there reading a book again. You know, I like to read. Heard a knock at the door. And I went and opened up the door, and it was a devil. I said, And no, you're not coming in my house. He said, oh, yeah, I ain't wanting to come in. He said, I was passing through the neighborhood. Said, it's hot out here. Said, I just wanted to talk to you a minute. I said, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. No way, no how. He said, well, hang on, just a minute. He said, I ain't gonna hurt you or nothing. He said, I just need to break for a minute. He said, I'm hot. And he said, I'm walking by and said, I just thought I'd stop and talk to you. And I said, well, what have you got to say? And he said, well, just wanted to talk a minute. Nothing in particular. He said, just stop, say hey, and you know. So I didn't want nothing. I said, well, you got about a minute, you know. And he talked there for a minute, and his minute was up. He, you know, just talked a little bit, didn't hurt a thing, you know. And I said, all right, your minute's up. And boy, he cut out when I told him that was enough, and he left and went on about his business. And you know, I was sitting there reading the next day, heard a knock at the door. I went, who in the world is this? I went and opened up the door. Sure enough, it was the devil again. I said, look, now I told you yesterday that I didn't have time to deal with you. And I didn't want you here. And he said, I don't want that. He said, look, I stopped yesterday. He said, I said, well, what are you doing back? He said, well, I was just passed through. He said, I got some business down the road here. He said, it's a long walk down there. He said, it's just hot. He said, I thought maybe if I could just, you know, step in right here out of the shade and get, you know, just get a little shade. He said, y'all good people and all. He said, I thought that you'd let me just get right here under the edge of the house, you know, under the shade there a minute, give me a break and just talk for a minute. I said, well, look, you can step right in, right here, you know. But I said, you're not coming in the house now. You just stand right here under the edge of this doorway right here, and you got about 2 minutes. I said, then you got to go. You get you a little break. I said, then you got to hit the road. He said, I ain't gonna hurt nothing. He said, I don't want to come in. I don't want to bust nothing up. I ain't gonna tear up your house. I ain't gonna hurt you or nothing. I said, well, all right, you didn't bother nothing yesterday, so I backed up, cracked the door open. He stepped just right inside the door, right in the edge of the shade there. And he talked there about 2 minutes. You know, he didn't hurt nothing. Just talked a little bit and asked how we was doing and what was going on. Told us a little, you know, told old tale or something there. And I said, all right, look, your 2 minutes is up and you're going to have to go. And he cut out. He didn't hurt a thing. I was sitting there the third day and I was reading a book. I heard a knock at the door about the same time. It was about 10 minutes after 10 every day. I said, I bet that's him again. I went and I opened the door. And sure enough, he was back. I said, well, he didn't hurt nothing yesterday. He ain't bothered nothing. He said, hey, it's hot. I need a break. I said, Lord, I said, look, now you ain't going to start coming by here every day. Now, I ain't got time for you. I ain't got room for you. I ain't got no place for you to be here. I don't want you here. But I don't want to be ugly. I said, so I opened the door, and I said, you ain't hurt nothing the last 2 times. He said, I ain't bothered a thing. I ain't want to hurt nothing. I ain't gonna hurt you or nothing. He said, I just want to get in out of the shade. I said, well, look. I said, you can't come on in the house, but I said, you come right here in the foyer, you know, and talk a little bit, get a break. He said, well, could I get a glass of water? I'm thirsty. I said, well, he ain't hurt nothing, and you know, you need to be good to people. I said, well, yeah, I'll go. And I turned around to go get a glass of water for him, and that joker busted like that, and I heard the office crashing and knocking and banging and looking. And before I could spit, y'all, he had dismantled the whole house. I'm talking about broke all my good furniture. My lamps was turned over, the lights. Out the door he went. He was gone like lightning. I run out after. What the boy? I was mad. You better get out of here. You know what I mean? But he done destroyed everything in no time. Before I knew what was going on. Man, y'all, I had the awfulest mess of trying to clean up and pick up. And I mean, I had pieces of this, that, and the other everywhere. Look, I was down on my hands and knees picking up pieces of this, that, and the other out of my house. I looked and Jesus was standing looking out the door down there in his bedroom, and I said, well, Lord, I said, the devil has come in here and wrecked my house. I said, in no time. I said, I didn't intend to even let him in. And I said, Lord, I gave you a room here. I said, why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you come? He said, I was in my room that you gave me. He said, he didn't come in there. And I said, well, Lord, I give you a room here. He said, well, you did. He said, you give me the best room. He said, but when I come here, he said, I wasn't really just looking for a room. He said, I was looking for a house. And I dropped my head and I said, well, Lord, you can have the whole house. I said, it's a mess now, but the whole house is yours. Jesus got down and helped me pick all them pieces up, put things back together. We were still working on it the next morning when the sun come up. Heard a knock at the door. I started to the door and I said, if that's that devil this time, I'm fixing to give him what for. And Jesus said, whoa. He said, since this is my house now, he said, I'll open the door. Jesus opened that door up. The devil looked at him and said, wrong house. See you later, and cut out. Moral of this story is, Jesus is not just looking for a room. He wants a whole house. Give it to him.